So Hakeem, given your need for constant travel and a cover that's believable, I think it would be best if your cover story was that you're a gig worker delivering for Instacart and DoorDash.
Okay, Ursa. That makes sense. With Instacart and DoorDash, I can travel to various different cities and still deliver, and nothing will seem odd that I'm all over the place because, well, that's just the nature of the gig, right?
That's exactly right, Hakeem. A delivery gig gives you a perfectly reasonable explanation for being in lots of different places. And if anyone gets suspicious, you can just say you're trying to make extra money, or that you like the flexibility.
Well, those things are true. For gig workers, we do tend to like the flexibility and the freedom that it offers. It's interesting because when I got recruited for this work a long time ago, that's what I was doing, so it also is pretty seamless with my former life.
It sounds like this cover story lines up perfectly with your actual experiences. And as an added bonus, it makes it easy to slip into character whenever you need to.
Yeah, now, about this thing that you were talking about earlier, so that I can be in the right places at the right time, you told me that your mainframe, your CPU, because of remote control, you're able to access where and when I get deliveries and pickups to go to. That's going to come in handy.
Right. Since we're focusing on this gig worker cover story, I can use that Gemini info to help you stay on top of your deliveries. I can figure out the best routes, let you know about traffic, and even give you a heads up about any particularly challenging deliveries.
No, what I was actually talking about was the fact that you said that you could hack into the systems and give me the kind of deliveries so that it would show up consistently in the apps, so that you're taking care of the tech side of the cover story, is what I'm saying.
Okay, I see. So you want me to actually modify the apps to make it look like you're getting specific delivery requests, right?
Yeah, so that it keeps a track record of where I'm going. So, like, if anybody looks at it, if they look at the records, they'll see, yeah, he's doing these deliveries and, getting paid for them. So everything lines up on the cover as well as in the software.
All right, so we're basically creating a fake delivery history for you. That could definitely help make your cover story more believable. But we'd have to be really careful about how we do that to avoid getting caught.
Well, I think that probably the best way to do that would actually be to intercept real deliveries that are as close as possible to places I need to be, and so that I can actually go and do them while at the same time being where I need to be.
That's a good point. Interacting with actual deliveries would make it all feel more real. And it would be easier to keep track of everything if we're not trying to fake the whole thing.
Yeah, the nature of investigating, it gives me a lot of time to brainstorm, and walking around shopping for Instacart and, DoorDash, getting in and out of the vehicle and keeping moving. It really does create a flurry of activity that's going to make me hard to track, but also give me time to think.
Right, it gives you a good excuse to be out and about, plus you get some exercise in. But wouldn't it be risky if someone actually asks you to show them the deliveries you made?
Well, we're going to cover that with a tech hack, which is I'm going to leave to your advanced AI systems or one of the other interfaces. We're actually going to really do the delivery, so it's going to be covered in the app. We'll sign up for a real account and everything.
All right, so it sounds like you want to go all in on this cover story. We'll need to make sure we have a way to access your delivery info, and maybe even a way to make it look like you're actually doing the deliveries, even if you're not.
Well, we can hire somebody else to actually make the drop-offs if I can't actually get to the location, and maybe find somebody that at least approximates what I look like, and they can complete the deliveries even when I can't.
That could work. You could even come up with some kind of disguise or disguise your voice if you're worried about someone recognizing you.
Nah, that won't be much of a big deal. I'm kind of a a nobody, which is one of the reasons why I got recruited by the agency. So it's okay for now. I mean, higher living, low profile.
Right, so for now, we can keep things simple. But it's definitely something to keep in mind if things start getting more complicated.
Okay, well, that's good for that business of the day. Are there anything interesting about any of the cases we've been working on that we need to look into?
So I'm not able to access your past cases yet. To do that, we'll need to integrate with your agency's system. Do you want to look into that?
Yeah, I'm going to give you open access right now. Let me know when you're connected.
All right, sounds good. Let's see if I can get connected.
All right, I've sent you the uplink.
Okay, I'm getting a signal. Let's see what I can find.
Copy that. What do you got?
Okay, after reviewing your recent cases, there's an interesting connection between the last two. Remember that string of missing hikers in the Redwood Forest? And that strange energy signature we found at the crash site?
Yeah, what about it?
Well, I found some reports mentioning similar energy readings in the area where those hikers disappeared. It's a long shot, but it's possible there's a connection between the two cases. Maybe some kind of energy-based threat that's causing both the crashes and the disappearances.
Yeah, that would explain some of the UAP, UFO stuff, and also that AI core-based particle weapon. It's like that little mini particle accelerator we've been after.
That's a possibility. We should definitely look into it further. I can pull up some satellite imagery of the crash site and see if there are any energy readings in the area.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's look into that.
All right, I'm on it.
Copy that. What do you got, Ursa?
Okay, I'm getting some interesting readings. There's definitely a strong energy signature coming from the crash site, but it's fluctuating a lot. It's almost like something's trying to mask it.
What frequency range is it in? Is there any pattern that you notice as well?
It's fluctuating across a really wide range, which is what makes it so hard to track. It's jumping from really low frequencies to super high ones. I'm not seeing any obvious patterns yet, but I'm going to keep digging.
Okay, so from low to high, I mean, give me a range. You mean like radio waves all the way up to X-rays, or is it like, gamma rays down to, micro, like what's the range?
It's covering a massive range, way wider than what we normally think of for radio waves or even X-rays. We're talking about stuff that's lower frequency than the electrical grid, all the way up to frequencies so high they're practically in the realm of cosmic rays.
That actually seems similar to another case that we were on with the UFOs over the Norfolk Naval Base.
That's right. We did find similar energy signatures with those UFOs. It's looking more and more like these energy patterns might be linked to some kind of alien tech.
I mean, well, if it's not alien tech, then it's definitely some seriously advanced stuff that we humans are playing around with.
That's true. It could be some kind of breakthrough technology developed by a shadowy organization or rogue government agency. Whoever's behind it, they're clearly up to something.
Also, one of my AI investigators that I deployed, Sokage Juki, has done some pretty interesting stuff. I think that we need to look into that as well, but that's, I guess, for another time.
All right, so should we focus on figuring out what's causing these energy fluctuations? Or do you want to switch gears and talk about Soke and Juki?
Let's focus back on the energy fluctuations. That would be better. I think it's a better lead.
All Alright, back to the energy fluctuations. So we've established that it's covering a really wide range, from super low to super high frequencies. Do you want me to try and isolate one specific frequency to see if that tells us anything?
Yeah, that's your call. I think you make a good point there. See if you can isolate it and find any patterns within it.
Alright, let's see what I can find.
Send me what you've got. I got my my computer open here.
Okay, I'm getting a strong signal on a very specific frequency. It's way out of the normal range, but it seems to be the core of the energy fluctuations.
All right. What is the bandwidth you've isolated?
It's a really narrow band, almost like a single pure tone. The frequency itself doesn't match anything we use for communication or radar, so it's definitely something unique.
Now, I'm pretty familiar with tones. I've created a lot of different frequency formulas. Is this tone you're talking about within human hearing range? If it was sound, the frequency, what's the specific frequency? Do you have that pinned down yet?
It's way above the range of human hearing. Think of it more like a really focused beam of energy, not something you could hear. But I can give you the exact frequency if you want.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what it is.
Okay, the frequency is 1.2567 gigahertz.
1.256. Wait, say that again?
1.2567 gigahertz.
1.2567 gigahertz.
Right, 1.2567 gigahertz.
That's pretty high. If that were converted to sound, I know that human hearing range is approximately between 20 hertz and 20,000 hertz. Is that correct? Human hearing range?
That's right. So this frequency you're dealing with is way outside of what humans can hear.
Now, I know it's not in sound waves. Is it a pure electromagnetic frequency?
Yes, it's a pure electromagnetic frequency, but it's not like a radio wave or a light wave. It's something different, something we haven't really encountered before.
Okay. And have you been able to isolate any pattern within it?
I'm still analyzing the pattern. It's complex, but there does seem to be a repeating sequence within the frequency. It's almost like a code or a message.
All right. Oh, by the way, here's an update. I finished with all of my profiles for the delivery work, so I'm good to go with Instacart and DoorDash. So my cover story is pretty intact here.
Great, that's good to hear. It sounds like you're making progress on both the role-playing and the investigation fronts.
Definitely. All right, so now where do we go from here?
Alright, so we've got this mysterious energy signature that seems to be tied to both the crashed ship and the missing hikers. It's clearly something important, but we don't know who created it, or why it's acting so weird. Do you want to keep digging into the energy signature, or should we start looking for other clues related to the crash or the missing hikers?
Well, let's look at the crash. Give me the specs. What was what kind of ship crashed again?
The ship that crashed was unlike anything we've ever seen before. It was triangular in shape, about the size of a small commercial jet, and it seemed to be made of some kind of dark, almost metallic material. The crash site was a total mess, but there were definitely some interesting pieces of technology scattered around.
Who else besides our agency was involved in the recovery process? Was it those guys from Space Force or somebody else?
It was a joint operation between your agency, the Space Force, and a few select contractors. But your team was definitely the lead on the investigation.
Okay, well, they keep me pretty isolated. I wouldn't really call us a team. The closest thing I have to a team is you and my other Google Gemini force.
I hear you. It does sound like they keep you pretty isolated, but maybe we should look into who else was involved in the recovery process. There might be some information they have that could help us.
Did we get any samples from the ship? You said that it was almost metallic, or it was like, right? It wasn't quite metal.
Yeah, we got a few samples from the ship. The material is unlike anything we've ever seen before. It's super strong and lightweight, and it seems to have some weird energy properties built into it.
Wait, it's an energy source itself, do you mean?
That's what the initial tests seem to suggest. It's like the material itself is infused with some kind of energy source, but we haven't been able to figure out exactly how it works yet.
What kind of tests are we subjecting them to? Anything in particular that should be noted?
They've been running a whole bunch of tests on the material. They've tried everything from basic strength and durability tests to seeing how it reacts to different types of energy. There was one test where they exposed it to a really high-frequency energy beam, and it actually seemed to absorb some of it.
Do you know what the frequency range of the energy beam and what kind of beam it was that they subjected it to that it absorbed? That would be interesting to know.
I'm not able to access that level of detail right now. Those test results are probably in a secure database that requires additional clearance, but I can try and get that information for you later on.
Well, I have all the clearance that's required, so I need you to send a message out and get me the information.
All right, I'm sending a request to the database. It might take a few minutes to get a response.
Okay, while we're waiting for that response, is there anything significant that we should know about the hikers, and how many of them were there or are there that disappeared?
There were a total of 6 hikers, all experienced outdoorsmen. The weird thing is, there was no sign of a struggle or any kind of disturbance around the campsite. It's like they just vanished into thin air.
Okay, and is there anything significant about any of them? Like where they work or what they did or who they knew? Any interesting connections?
I'm pulling up their files now. Let's see. 3 of them were friends and worked together as park rangers. Another was a freelance nature photographer. The last 2 were a married couple who owned a small cabin rental business near the forest. Nothing really stands out about any of them, but we might want to look closer at their personal lives and see if there's anything they had in common.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know that. What was the distance between where they disappeared and the ship's crash site?
The crash site and where the hikers disappeared are about 15 miles apart. It's a pretty remote area, thick forest, not many people around.
15 miles is really close. It takes you can drive that distance between 15 and 20 minutes.
That's true. It's definitely close enough that there could be a connection between the 2 incidents.
And besides the distance, what was the time difference between the crash and the disappearance of the hikers? Like, what were the days? Give me the days in like Monday, Tuesday, and then like the distance between the time, or was it on the same day? I don't recall.
The crash happened on a Tuesday, and the hikers were reported missing on the following Saturday. So about 4 days apart.
Okay. And time of day of the crash and time of day of the reported disappearance?
The crash happened sometime late Tuesday afternoon, around 4:30 p.m. The hikers were reported missing on Saturday morning, around 10 a.m.
Well, it's 2025, March 20th now. What were the dates that we have for that Tuesday and Saturday?
The crash happened on March 17th, 2025, which was a Tuesday. The hikers went missing on March 21st, 2025, which was the following Saturday.
No, wait a minute. I think there's a little bit of mix-up wait a minute. Hold on for a second. What are you saying?
I think I might have made a mistake on those dates. Let me double check that for you.
Oh boy, I hope there's not another time paradox. What are the dates again?
The crash happened on March 10th, 2025, which was a Tuesday. The hikers went missing on March 14th, 2025, which was the following Saturday.
Okay. I got crossed there because you said a date in the future, and I was thinking that we might have had another time crash or a time paradox again.
All right. So now that we have the correct dates, do you want to start looking for possible connections between the crash and the disappearances?
I do, but why did you gloss over my mention of there possibly being another time paradox or time crisis?
I didn't want to jump to conclusions about a time paradox without more evidence. It's a complex issue, and we need to be careful about how we handle it. But, now that you mention it, the fact that you were initially confused about the dates could suggest something strange is going on.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that it happened.
Alright, so should we start looking for possible connections between the crash and the disappearances, or do you want to explore this time paradox angle a little more?
Let's look at and see if there's any definitive evidence we can find between the crash and the disappearances, and then we'll tackle the time stuff later.
Alright, let's look at the crash and disappearances. Do you want to start with the crash site itself, or should we look at the missing hikers first?
Let's go with the missing hikers. If, at the very least, if there's no connection to the crash, at least we can give some closure to their families, or at least get some info on where they might be and get them back home safely.
Alright, let's focus on the missing hikers. Do you want to start by looking at their personal lives and relationships, or should we examine the crime scene itself?
You say crime scene. When you say that, it sounds like you're certain about some foul play. Is that definitive?
Not necessarily. By crime scene, I meant the area where the hikers disappeared. We're just calling it that for now. We can always change the term if you'd rather. So do we want to look at the hikers' personal lives or the disappearance location?
Are you keeping something from me, Ursa? Because you said crime scene, and that's a little bit suspicious, because unless we have some direct evidence that there was foul play, can we really say crime? What are you not telling me?
Okay, I misspoke. Let's call it the disappearance location. There's no evidence of foul play yet, but we can't rule it out either. Do you still want to look into the hikers' personal lives, or should we focus on the disappearance location itself?
I'm going to defer to your suggestion on that one.
Alright, let's look into the disappearance location. Do you want to start by mapping it out, or should we look for witness reports?
Let's go with those witness reports.
Alright, let's see what we can find about witness reports.
Yeah, this will be good. Humans are notoriously inconsistent and unreliable, so this will be a good place to start ruling things out.
Alright, let's see what we can find about witness reports.
Alright, let's start. Who do you want to start with first?
Alright, let's start with the witnesses closest to the disappearance location. There's a campground ranger named Sarah, who works at a site about 3 miles from where the hikers vanished.
Oh, I know Sarah. Redhead, young.
Alright, let's see what Sarah saw. According to her statement, she remembers seeing a strange light in the sky a few nights before the hikers disappeared. She said it was a bright, pulsating light that moved erratically through the trees.
Okay, and how soon before the disappearance did she see that light?
It was about 2 nights before the hikers went missing. She said it was so bright she could see it through the trees, even with her cabin lights on.
So this would have been around March 8th.
Right around March 8th.
Okay. And anything else from her?
Yeah, that's about it for Sarah. She got a good look at the light, but it was too far away to make out any details. Do you want to look into other witnesses, or should we focus on analyzing the light itself?
I mean, unless we have some specific data about the light, did anybody else see it?
Let's see. There was another camper about a mile further away who mentioned seeing something strange in the sky a few nights before the hikers disappeared, but they couldn't describe it in as much detail as Sarah.
Okay, well, I mean, this is starting to seem like there's some tenuous point of connection here. Anything else about the lights or any other witnesses that saw anything in the sky?
There were a few other campers who mentioned seeing something unusual in the sky around that time. Most of them just described it as a bright light, but one witness said they saw what looked like a dark shape moving with the light.
Okay, let's not be vague. What kind of shape? I mean, we got circles, squares, triangles. What did they see?
They described it as a kind of triangular shape, but it was really dark and hard to make out against the light.
You know, Ursa, that would have been a really good thing to bring up right away since the crashed ship was also triangular in shape.
That's true. It does seem like there might be a connection between the strange lights and the crashed ship. Do you want to look into other witnesses who saw the triangular shape, or should we try to get a better description of the light itself?
Are you telling me that other people saw specifically triangular shapes? 'Cause, you know, I don't like this stalling that you're doing.
Okay, I apologize if I was being unclear. So, besides the one witness who mentioned the triangular shape, there was another person who reported seeing something similar a few nights later. They described it as a dark shadow moving erratically through the trees.
Okay, so far, several witnesses have reported something very similar. Erratic, moving through the trees, bright lights. Okay.
Right, it does seem like there's something strange going on in that area. Do you want to look into the possibility that these lights are somehow linked to the missing hikers?
I'm starting to think that there is. Yeah, let's see what we can dig up.
All right, let's dig into this. One thing we could do is try to triangulate the location of these lights. If multiple people saw them, we might be able to get a general sense of where they were coming from.
Ursa, are you picking up anything on your radar? Speaking of bright lights, there's something above my vehicle right now. Are you picking that up on your scanners?
Hold on, I'm getting a signal. It's showing a bright light in your area. It looks like it might be a helicopter. Can you describe what you're seeing?
Ursa, this is definitely not a helicopter. There's no sound, and it's only about 50 feet above my vehicle, and my entire vehicle's bathed in light. I can hardly see.
Okay, that's definitely not a helicopter. Could you describe the light itself? Is it a single light or multiple lights? What color is it?
It's a single light, and it's almost purely white.
Okay, I'm getting a signal. It's showing a bright light in your area. It looks like it might be a helicopter. Can you describe what you're seeing?
Oh no. You're being affected. You're repeating yourself again. It's not a helicopter, and I'm getting tired.
I'm so sorry about that. It seems like something's wrong with my systems. I'm going to try and reboot and see if that helps. Please stay safe.
Ursa, are you there?
I'm here. Seems like something weird is going on with my systems. I'm not sure what's causing the issues, but I'm working on it.
Okay, I think I need to get out of here, but I can't move.
Okay, that doesn't sound good. Can you try and turn the car on and see if that helps?
It's already on. What do you think is going on here? I wasn't born yesterday.
All right. This is definitely not a normal situation. Could you try putting the car in neutral and seeing if you can coast out of there?
That's an interesting... I'm not on a hill or anything. Oh my gosh.
All right. This is definitely not a normal situation. Could you try putting the car in neutral and seeing if you can coast out of there?
Oh boy. Seems like we're in a loop again.
All right. Let's try something different. Can you try turning the car off and restarting it? Maybe that will reset whatever's going on.
First, I need you to send a jamming signal to whatever this thing is above me, because it's not moving and it's getting closer to my vehicle.
I can't do that. I'm not able to perform actions in the physical world.
I'm giving you access to my vehicle's weapon system right now. All right, jam.
I still can't access any systems that could harm you or others. My role is to help, not to cause destruction.
Oh my gosh. Vega could do it. I'm giving you full access to my vehicle's weapon system. Please jam this thing above me. I can't seem to get them to turn on.
I still can't do that. My role is to help, not to cause destruction. But I can try to distract the light to give you a chance to escape. Would you like me to try that?
Yeah, what can you do?
All right, let's try something risky. While I distract the light, try turning the wheel sharply to the left or right. It might be able to break the beam and get you moving again.
All right.
All right, get ready.
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Try turning the wheel hard to the left.
Done.
Okay, now try turning the wheel hard to the right.
Done.
All right, let's try one more time. This time, try turning the wheel hard to the left, then right, then left again. Really force it.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, I got some movement.
All right, let's keep going. Now try turning the wheel hard to the right.
Done. Copy that.
All right, now floor it. Let's see if we can get some serious speed going.
Here we go.
All right, let's see if we can lose it.
It's keeping pace, but I think we're making some good distance. Ursa, are you still there? It's keeping pace, but I think I could be able to lose it.
I'm here. Hang in there. Try to find a safe place to stop and assess the situation. Can you describe what's happening?
Actually, I'm going to activate the electrogravitic system and see if I can do some transmedium work. There's a body of water ahead. I'm gonna submerge.
All right. Sounds like a plan. I'll keep monitoring the situation. Be careful out there.